Hi, Business Math 11. Today we're moving on to Chapter 5, Section 3, Installment Loans. It's found on page 184 in your textbook if you want to refer to your textbook at any time. Okay, I apologize right away for this shadow that's appearing. I'm in a different location while I'm working at home remotely because everybody else is here working at home with me. The rest of my family, so I've been booted to a different location. So I apologize for the screen. I've tried to adjust it, and at this point I just have to continue as is. Okay, so this section is dealing with installment loans, and we're going to be calculating the installment price and finance charge on an installment plan purchase. We will calculate the number and amount of monthly payments that we would have to make on an installment loan, and we'll calculate the interest, principal payment, and the new balance on an installment loan. Key terms that you will see are down payment, finance charge, and installment loan. So you've seen finance charges before. So this is just a different type of loan that people can take. All right, so let's start by defining some terminology here. Installment price and finance charge. Installment plan. It's also called a time payment plan. Okay, and it's borrowed money and you pay it back in parts. So we'll put a colon here. Borrowed money that you pay back in parts. Some things that you might want to buy on an installment loan could be things like stereo systems, bigger items, refrigerators, appliances, boats, cars, furniture, anything that can be bought on an installment plan or a time payment plan. All right, down payment is another key term. It is money that you will pay. So let's write this: part of a price that is paid at the time of buying on the installment plan. Okay, so it's your initial payment that you're going to make. An installment contract, that's what goes on these lines, will outline the responsibility for paying the unpaid balance. Okay. So let's look at an example here of a problem. Let me get my camera set up right. I apologize for the shadow. Example A. You can buy a watch for $125 cash or pay $25 down and the balance in 12 monthly payments of $9. What is the installment price? By what percent would your installment price be greater than the cash price? Okay, so we first have to figure out our total payment if we're going to pay monthly. So let's calculate total payment, and we're going to take our number of months and multiply it by the cost per month. So this one says 12 months, so 12 times $9 per month, and this is going to give us our total payment that we would pay for this item. This would be $108. Now, the installment price, that's what they're asking us for. I'll write this down. Installment price is going to be calculated by taking our down payment and we're going to add to it our total monthly payment, which we just found up here, our total payment. So if our down payment here is $25, we're going to take 25 plus our total payment of $108 to get this installment price. And when I do that addition, I get $133. So an item that was supposed to be $125 cash, I'm going to end up paying $133 when I do it in installments. So I'm paying a little bit more to spread it over so many months. Okay. Now they want us to find the percent. It says, by what percent would your installment price be greater than the cash price? So what we need to do is to find the percent of the difference. So we're going to take the installment price, subtract the original, and we're going to do that in parentheses, and we're going to divide that by the original. This is a percent change, basically, type of problem. So for this one, our initial installment price was $133. We're going to subtract what the original price was, $125, and then divide that by the original price. That's going to give us a decimal. Okay, in parentheses, this is very important. Put this in parentheses. 133 minus 125, close, hit your division button, and then your original again, 125. That gives us a decimal, multiply it by 100 to get your percent. So this percent change would be 6.4. Okay, so it says, by what percent would your installment price be greater? It's 6.4% greater than the original. Okay, I know that's a lot. We're going to practice it again with example B. I'm going to leave this one on the screen so we can see what we did up here. Example B. A digital audio player that sells for $169.99 can be bought for $20 down and a $26.17 a month for 6 months. What is the installment price? By what percent to the nearest tenth does the installment price exceed the cash price? So I want to get my total payment that I'm going to pay by taking the payment times the number of months. So 6 months times what is the payment per month? $26.17. That's going to give us our total that we're going to pay over the 6-month period, $157.02. All right, but I have to add in my down payment. Okay, so we're going to find the total installment plan price by taking our total, $157.02, and add to it our down payment of $20. And this is our total that we're paying for this item that would have cost us less if we would have just paid cash for it. Okay, so this one is going to end up costing us $177.02 if we do the installment plan. We would have been paying this amount. So now let's do the percent calculation. So we're doing the installment price minus the original and then divide by the original. So installment price in parentheses, $177.02 minus the original price, $169.99, divide by that original price again. Okay, so when I do this, parentheses, subtract, close parenthesis, divide by button, that original price again. And in this one, multiply by 100, and I get 4.13, so 4.1. Let me try that one more time because I think I made a mistake. 177.02. No, I'm right. So 4.1%. It says to the nearest tenth, so we'll just make it 4.1. Okay, let's go over to the next page. I'm out of my rhythm, kids, because I'm not in the same location I normally am when I'm recording. All right, sometimes you might know the installment price and the down payment, and you might need to find the amount of the monthly payment or the number of months to pay. All right, so we're going to set up our formula. I know it's not given in the book, but I'm going to tell you how we would do this. We'll take the installment price and we will subtract the down payment, and that gives us our remaining amount. Okay, so once we know our remaining, we take our remaining amount and we will divide by the number of months, if they give you that, or the amount that we pay, the monthly payment. Because sometimes we might know the payment or sometimes we might know the months. Okay, so let's read example C. A scuba diver's wetsuit costs $175 on the installment plan. You must make a down payment of $25 and make payments for 15 months. What will be your monthly payments? All right, so we're going to take our installment payment, subtract our down payment. So our installment payment right here, $175 minus the down payment of $25 gives us a total of $150. And we know the time. We know that we're going to make payments for 15 months. We're looking for the monthly payment. So we're going to take 150 and divide it by 15 to get our monthly amount. $10. So $10 is our monthly payment. All right, let's look at example D. It says a refrigerator sells for $1,044 on the installment plan. After making a down payment of $100, you pay $59 a month. How many months will it take you to pay for the refrigerator? So we're looking for months here. Set up the same way. Installment plan amount minus the down payment first. Installment plan is $1,044. The down payment was $100. So our remaining balance is $944. We know that we're paying $59 a month, so we take $944 and we divide that by 59 to get our total months. Sorry. And in this one, when we do our division, it's going to be 16 months. Okay, let's move on and let's talk about some more information about installment loans. Rather than paying a retail store down payment and monthly payments, you can obtain an installment loan from a bank or a credit union Typically, the interest rate on an installment loan from a bank will be less than the rate offered for a retail store installment plan. You see this a lot with car loans. Okay, a lot of car dealerships will offer customers loans through their facilities. However, typically, if you go to your bank or a credit union, you can get a better interest rate. All right, so let's define an installment loan. A loan from a bank or credit union in which you repay principal and interest in installments or parts, right? Many lenders calculate payments so that each payment is the same amount, called the level payment plan. And car loans are definitely level payment plans. From each payment, the interest due for that month is deducted. The payment amount remaining after deducting the interest is applied to the principal. Okay, let's continue on. On the next page is a schedule of payments on a 1-year $500 loan at 18%. The loan was repaid in 12 equal monthly payments of $45.84. So let's take a look at what they're talking about here. So they're talking about this chart. Okay, so you can see here's all the months, 1 to 12, equal payments every month. And these are the interest payments that accrued. And every month, what they do is they start with your balance, okay, and they take off the interest, and only that remaining amount from your payment, subtracting the interest, that amount here is what is applied to the principal, okay. Then they take the beginning balance and subtract this off to get your new month balance. And we'll try some of these problems down below. Notice that the interest paid in any month is equal to the unpaid balance multiplied by the monthly interest rate. A loan that uses this method of allocating interest is called a simple interest installment loan. Now we'll do some problems here and calculate our balance for our first month. Benito Diaz borrowed $1,000 on a 1-year simple interest installment loan at 15% interest. The monthly payments were $90.26. Find the amount of interest, amount applied to the principal, and the new balance for the first monthly payment. This seems like a lot, and it is. Okay, it gets very involved. However, there are processes and steps that we can apply. The first thing we have to look at is our interest rate. We always have to go back to what our interest rate is. And remember, this is happening every month. So we need to take our interest and divide it by 12 to get our rate. And this one's going to be 1.25%. And we change that to a decimal, 0.0125. The first thing we have to calculate is our interest. And we know interest is principal times rate times time. All right, we're talking about 1 month here. So we're going to take our principal amount, which is $1,000, and we're going to multiply that by our rate of 0.0125. And we're talking about 1 month, so we can just multiply by 1. That's going to give us our interest. And in this problem, our interest is going to be $12.50. This $12.50 has to come off of the payment. Okay, so we're going to calculate what is called the amount to principal. And what this means is we're going to subtract the interest off of our payment. So I want this to be a colon. All right, so we know our payment is $90.26, and we're going to subtract off this interest amount. And this amount that we get when we do that subtraction is going to be the amount they will apply to the principal balance. The principal balance at the beginning was $1,000, right? So now we're going to calculate our first month's balance. I'm just going to abbreviate month. Okay, we start with our principal, $1,000, and we're going to subtract the amount that we're paying towards that principal, $77.76. And our first month balance is going to be $922.24. Now, what would happen, since they are paying for this, doesn't tell us how many months they're going to pay on this loan, but we would continue doing this. This would become our next balance, and we would do the process all over again. Okay, so let's look at example F, because example F is a problem like that where it's not just 1 month they're asking us for, they're going to ask us for 2 months. So the first thing I want to do is read the problem. Lillian Dish signed a $2,500 6-month simple interest installment loan at 18% interest. The monthly payments were $438.81. Find the amount of interest, amount applied to the principal, and the new balance for the first 2 monthly payments. Again, we go back to the problem. We take care of our interest rate first. So 18 divided by 12 gives us 1.5%. And as a decimal, that's 0.015. The first thing we need to do is calculate our first month's interest. We take our principal, $2,500, times by our rate, and it's 1 month right now. That's all we're looking for. And our interest on this one is going to be $37.50. Now I'm going to calculate my amount that's going to come off of the principal. And remember, I use my payment amount. My payment amount is $438.81, and I'm going to subtract off that interest. This is what's going to come off of the balance, of the principal balance. So when I do this subtraction, I get $401.31. Now I can calculate my first month balance. I start with $2,500. That was my beginning principal. And I subtract the amount to principal. We get $2,098.69 here. That's my ending balance for the first month. All right, now I'm going to do this process all over again. I'm going to calculate interest for the second month. I start with my new balance, $2,098.69. I multiply by the rate, 0.015, times 1, because it's just 1 month. And my interest here is $31.48. That interest amount is going to come off of our payment. So our amount to principal, we're going to start with our payment again, $438.81 minus $31.48, and that's going to give us $407.33. Now let's calculate our new balance. So our second month balance is going to be our starting amount, $2,098.69, subtract the amount to principal, $407.33, which leaves us a balance of $1,691.36. Okay, so that ends the notes here for calculating our installment plan. Payments are installment prices, are percent of greater than the cash price, and then our simple interest installment loan work that we just did here. It's a lot of different types of skills, but if you follow the step-by-step process and you look at the notes, the textbook problems are maybe a little bit more difficult this time, but I will be posting a video to help you through those. All right, if you have any questions on the notes, please reach out to me. Have a great day.